Hello and welcome to Portsmouth This Week. I'm your host, Conley Zani. This show is under the auspices of Rich Rayner, our Portsmouth Town Administrator. Together, Rich, myself, and the entire Portsmouth This Week team are on a mission to build community. We do that by bringing you accurate and timely information about the issues and events that impact you. We introduce you to the faces, the personalities, the leaders in this magical place in which we live. I am so honored today to have two guests with me. I've got Abby Brown, welcome Abby, and Tom Grebe. Abby, you are the current chair of the Harbor Commission, and Tom, you have the wonderful, you were the former chair, so you got to pass the torch to this lovely lady, right?
Right.
I'm so glad you guys are here because I really know nothing about what happens, like how we manage our shoreline. Tom, you were saying that we have more shoreline than any other town in Rhode Island. Is that true?
That is absolutely true. We've got the largest shoreline. I think it's like 35, 36 miles long. We've got two islands out there. It's a lot to take care of.
It's a big job. Now, when were you the chair?
Abby, you've been chair for 5 years. I was for 5 years.
She's like, it's six.
I was 5 years before that.
Okay, all right. Well, first, thank you both for participating in this. It sounds like it's a lot. There's a lot to do, right?
Absolutely.
So, so Abby, like you're our current chair, and I know we've just hired a brand new harbor master, and it was a little too soon to get him on the show because it was literally like what?
Tuesday,
right?
Right.
Now, I understand you had a big role in this. Can you tell us a little bit about that and who he is and what you're excited about him?
I can.
Yeah.
It's extremely important to the town of Portsmouth that we transfer from a police officer to a civilian harbor master because we've had issues with the fact that policemen, they do a really good job, but they are what I'm trying to think of what the word is. They're shift workers. They work from 8 to 4 and 4 to midnight and midnight. And things
this is like a 24/7 kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Things don't happen on the water just between 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And so
I would say it probably happens. Things get crazy later, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So is this new to have a civilian? This
brand
is
new.
Brand new.
We've never had a civilian.
We
harbor
never
master.
have.
No.
Do other towns do that, or?
No, they don't.
Oh,
There's only
okay.
one other town that has a policeman as a harbor master. It's East Providence.
They have a policeman.
Yes.
Everybody else.
Everybody else has a civilian.
Okay, so this is new for us,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope it goes well. You're excited about it, I can tell.
His name is Michael West,
Yeah.
and he's an avid sailor, and I'm very excited to have the Harbor Commission work with him.
That's wonderful. So he's just meeting you, or I'm sure you were part of the interview process, but
No, I was not.
oh, you were not.
I was
Okay, tell us about that. Tell us about the process.
I was part of the process of helping, well, not just me, but the Harbor Commission is part of the process of putting together the questions for what we wanted the qualifications to be for the harbor master.
Okay. What are some of those?
Well, obviously you should be a captain, a licensed captain. You should have knowledge of how to deal with people under difficult situations. You have to have a very
What are you talking about?
broad,
That's crazy. No.
a broad perspective of what's going on the water, and you have to know a lot about life saving and things like that.
Okay.
And it's just it's an interesting process. But we had 42 applicants, and out of the 42, I read them all. I got it down to 6. And then I brought the 6 applicants to the Harbor Commission.
Okay.
And the only reason we got it down to 6 was because we felt that we wanted someone who was extremely qualified and understood what was going to happen on the water. And we kind of wanted somebody who might know how to run a boat.
Yeah. So you had 6 good applicants.
Yes.
I'm sure there were some wingnut applications too.
There were some really different ones. Yes,
I'm sure my teenage son probably wants to be harbor master.
Well, that was another issue, you know, because you're not allowed to tell them how old they are.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay,
that was
all right,
one of the problems.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, I tell you, that's a big can of worms, isn't it? So congrats on successfully navigating that. And so we're excited about Michael West.
He's excited, and he would like to come on the show at a later date.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, let's let him get in there and,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
think we'll make sure he's not going to run for the hills before we're going to.
Okay, all right.
Let's be nice to him.
Right, so he's got a lot of new responsibilities and everything. And you are going to be working hand in hand with him on
Yeah,
those things.
yeah.
All right.
So one of the things that I will be doing with him, because I'm also head of the rights of way at Portsmouth, is I will be going out and helping him count the moorings and make sure each sticker that's part of the sticker program we've got
Yeah,
going. And
yeah.
everybody, if you have not picked up your stickers, please do so. They're at the police station behind the window.
Okay, well, let's actually give this some airtime here because this is a big deal, right?
is.
Tommy, you were saying this is a brand new program. Portsmouth's never had anything like it, right?
That's correct.
So what is the big why behind it? What are you trying, what problem are you solving with
Well,
this sticker program for moorings?
The main thing we want to do is make sure that the right boat is on the right mooring. And
So that's a
with
problem. That
yeah,
happens a lot. People get on the
Of course.
Yeah,
People
okay.
pick up moorings that they shouldn't be on and so forth. And one of the problems is the harbor master has to go to his computer to figure out what boat is supposed to be on that mooring. But now you've got stickers that correspond to the mooring.
Right.
So if,
It's a little
you know,
match there.
It's easy. Makes it a lot easier for the harbor
That
master.
seems kind of brilliant. Like, I mean, right? Like,
We're not the only town that does it now, but it does make it a lot easier to make sure that the right boat's on the right mooring.
okay, all right. Has there been pushback about this? Are people kind of squawking?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So why? Tell me again, just because I don't have any familiarity with the kinds of issues you guys deal with.
Well, one of the problems is that people get very docile in their ways about their moorings, and quite often they'll say, "Oh, I'm not going to use my mooring, so you can go use it." Okay? And we have rules in the harbor management plan that say how long you can actually stay on somebody's mooring, and you certainly can't rent a mooring.
Meaning, so we have a mooring. So you're saying we cannot say, "Hey, friend, for $1,000 for the summer, you can be on my mooring."
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
You want to smack my hand? I am kidding. Okay, good to know. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I mean, this is really important. I think a lot of people don't really know the rules, right?
Right.
That's like
Yes.
a big thing. And I know, Abby, I've watched you educate everybody in every pathway that you possibly can. And again, thanks for being on this show to do that. But I didn't actually know that.
Yes.
So, all right, so let's go back to the sticker program. So people are like, well, I just want Joe over here to jump on. And so there's only a limited period of time that can happen, right?
Correct.
There's also a problem that the mooring is sized for a particular type of boat.
Oh, yeah.
And if you rent it out to somebody that's maybe twice your size,
Yeah.
The
they
tackle
may
may
fit
not
they
hold
may
the
fit
boat.
there, but in
Right.
the next storm, he may be on shore.
And it's a big safety
problem.
thing. That's a
Absolutely.
giant safety thing.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Yeah, and I mean, this also relates to the rafting up, right? Are there some
Yes.
new rules
Correct.
about rafting? Tell me.
We will be, it's on the agenda for this week's, our next meeting is Wednesday, the 5th of June. Everybody's welcome to come to our meetings, and we always hope that you will, and we also welcome public comment. But one of our big items on the agenda is to protect, mostly, we have two big harbors. One is Potter's Cove, and the other
Yes.
is Bluebill Cove.
Yes.
And
I was
a
just
lot
in
of,
Potter's last weekend and
lot
got
of
booted off the
times.
mooring.
yeah, a lot
Now
of,
you
This
say,
is a very timely talk.
actually, the mayor of Newport was in Potter's Cove last weekend and got thrown off of a mooring.
Oh,
so-
you know, I mean, good company, right?
Yeah,
All
right.
right. Okay, so Potter's and Bluebell.
Right, and the deal is just what Tom just said to you. If you get too many boats on a mooring and the mooring tackle can't handle it, and there's something happens, it's a real issue. People get hurt, boats sink, and a lot of people don't necessarily want people coming in and picking up their mooring and then having 4 or 5 of their friends come along. Boats do.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not safe. But
Are all of them private moorings in Potter's, or do we
No,
have some
so-
town moorings?
there
that
are no
could be-
town
No.
there are no
Okay.
town moorings. They
Okay.
are all private.
Okay.
But they're not necessarily all belonging to the people who live on Prudence Island.
Oh, okay. So yeah, somebody living in Common Fence Point could have a mooring in Prudence, possibly, as an example.
In theory.
yes,
In theory.
yeah.
In theory. Yeah, so that could happen, but that's, in the design, and we'll have to talk about this master plan. I want to hear more about that, but there's probably something like you want to have your mooring kind of close to where you're living a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal in the end of it, hopefully.
Yeah, okay.
But, there's a lot of places that we have waiting lists.
Okay.
Potter's
all right.
Cove.
Potter's Cove is
number
one of them.
Yeah.
And Bluebill
that's-
Cove is another one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
those are the party places or the
Yes.
fun places or
Right.
something?
Well, Potter's Cove and Bluebill Cove are so well sheltered,
Yeah,
so that's a good thing.
yes,
Yeah.
right?
In Harbor Commission parlance, we call them destinations. The
Okay.
destination moorings. Those where you go,
Okay.
you'd go overnight, stay
Yeah.
on the mooring, et
All
cetera.
right, that's super fun. So lots of rules. So the sticker, okay, so some people are a little upset about the stickers, but in general, systemically, like that seems like a good call. And is this a new rule? This sticker program? Is this new?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's just come into
All right, so where do
fruition
we get
this
a
year.
sticker?
At the police department first of all, you have to have a current mooring.
Right.
The stickers have been issued. They're already printed. They're behind the desk at the police station, and they're ready to be picked up.
Okay.
And
so
there
there's
are-
two, one for the mooring and one for your boat.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. What if you have like multiple boats that you interchange? Can you have your mooring sticker and then, like we got a sailboat and a power boat. Can I have two so that depending on what I'm doing that day, I
A
can be on my
mooring is
mooring?
dedicated to one boat only.
Okay.
Again, so it's sized it's
Good-
sized
good
properly.
questions.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's sized properly, and we know that.
Okay. Okay, so will it be the harbor master that's kind of, I'm going to use the word enforcing. Maybe
Yes.
that's not the right word.
No, but that's correct. The harbor master will be in charge of doing that, and
Yeah.
along with every other thing that goes along with being a harbor master.
Yeah.
Like going around and trying to be nice to people, but educating them about life jackets.
Yes.
Children under 13 have to have a life jacket.
Okay.
They're not supposed to be riding on the front of the boat. There's a lot of things that you have to do, but a lot of people don't know that because you don't have to have a license to own a boat,
Yeah.
which is very sad
You're right.
because
Right.
that means that there's
There's
a
some
lot
crazy out there,
Yeah,
as we all
well,
know,
that's
right?
one of the
Right.
things that I would say. Anybody that gets a boat really should take some time to learn what the rules and regulations are, because it's not like driving a car. The rules
Right.
are really quite different, and that needs. There's no requirement for that, unfortunately. You can just buy a boat
Yeah.
and start driving it. But people need to understand the rules and the safety precautions
Yeah.
that are necessary.
So you guys are clearly both boaters.
Yes.
Yes.
Big time, and that's part of where the passion comes from and why you
Yes.
took this role on, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was out of a concern, like Tom, safety. Like, what were you seeing out there that made you want to be the chair and be like get involved?
Well, I've kept the boat. I haven't lived in Rhode Island most of my life. I've kept the boat in Rhode Island most of my life.
Yeah.
At least my cognizant life after college. And when I retired, I moved here because I wanted to be closer to my boat, and I really wanted to give back to the area that had given me so much joy for the years before that, and that's why I did it. And Portsmouth is they needed somebody on the Harbor Commission, and I eventually became the chair.
Yeah, fantastic. That's wonderful. All right, well, let's talk about some of the wonderful accomplishments that have happened over the course of your tenures.
Well, we've done
I hope
an
you brought
awful
notes
lot.
because there's a lot of things, right?
I did.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that stand out for you.
Well, first of all, I feel that everybody needs to know that the old Stone Bridge property, which is adjacent to Teddy's Beach, was under consideration for purchase for the town of Portsmouth, but the state of Rhode Island would not allow them to inspect the property. On March 22nd, 2020, the old Stone Bridge collapsed, the north side of it.
Really?
And the problem with that was that it belongs to the Rhode Island DOT, and the DOT came in and did what I call put lipstick on a pig. Unfortunately, if we ever get any kind of a big storm, named storm like Sandy, it's going to wipe out the entire end of the island because that bridge needs to be reinforced, rebuilt, and well, you've seen what they've done in Tiverton. It's a very, very
that's-
serious situation.
Okay.
So I've been working very closely with the town to try and open new ideas as to how to get the state to sell it to us.
Okay.
They
So
should,
that's the goal
to be
for
very
you.
honest, they should give it to us. Don't you agree?
With some money to fix it.
Right, exactly, but that's not how.
Just because it's such a hazard from
Yes.
your
Yes,
perspective.
exactly. But
Okay.
if a tidal surge came down the Sakonnet River, there is nothing holding it back. The hummocks would go, all of Island Park would go, Common Fence Point would be non-existent, and the water would go straight through to Mount Hope. There would be
Because
nothing.
this bridge is not reinforced?
Correct.
And again, I'm sorry to
Yeah.
sound ignorant about this. I
No,
think I'm
that's
not
fine.
understanding how
act-
we wipe out neighborhoods because
Right
of a
now, it
bridge.
acts like a seawall.
Okay, okay.
Preventing waves and so forth from washing in and deflecting them. If it goes, all of that deflection
just
of the
lose that
waves
protection.
just
Correct.
goes right through.
Correct.
Yeah, and then it's anybody's game there. All right, so that makes sense.
And I'm not trying to scare anybody. I just want people to be in the know because
want 'em to have the
I'm sure
facts.
it will. I'm sure it will eventually rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
And people of the town of Portsmouth have the right to fight for what they want to keep,
Yeah.
and that's a very important one.
But you'd say we're kind of battling the state a little bit there.
Not kind of, a little bit, a lot of it.
Okay, a lot of it.
Un-
Okay, all right, cool, cool, cool.
unfortunately, yeah.
All right, one
Okay.
of 1,000 accomplishments. What else?
We have managed to get the harbor management plan and the harbor master's ordinance put in place, and that was almost what 11?
Almost a decade, anyway.
This
I
is a
think
memory
11
lane one, huh?
11,
So this is-
11 years, I think it took.
So this plan was like a kind of a first big plan, a first kind of
It
official?
was actually the second plan.
Okay.
The first one was minor and got passed very quickly, but then everybody got into the, I want to approve it. We had to go through the Army Corps of Engineers, CRMC, DEM.
Many stakeholders.
Everybody wanted their hands to make sure that this plan met their needs, and it was once one of them changes, it's got to go back through the whole process again. It was a
And by plan, what are the big elements of the plan? Like,
where mooring fields are,
Okay.
how the harbor is arranged, the mooring fields, aquaculture, all of those sorts of things, and where they're placed.
Yeah.
And probably the biggest objective of the plan is to keep the water quality high. For instance, we don't want, in Bluebill Cove, we don't want a lot of people staying overnight. Now, of course, you've got the holding tanks and so forth for human waste, but even the gray water, the soap and so forth that you
Yeah.
use to wash dishes or take a shower or whatever, that puts phosphorus into the water and creates algae
Yeah.
blooms and so forth. So we
Yeah,
had now in Bluebill Cove, you have to have gray water holding tanks. You can pump, once you get out of the cove, you can pump it into the bay, it's fine,
Okay.
where the water washes through.
well, again, great progress on that kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? Just
That's-
sort of identifying the problem areas and putting some rules around that.
The problem is getting everybody to agree what the solution is.
Sure. And actually just then educating all the voters.
Yes.
Again, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Great. So I know Abby's come a few times to Common Fence Point and done all sorts of kind of educational things, and it sounds like we might need to have a whole nother show on what are all the rules. Can we get everybody on
Now
board on that?
there's where you get the harbor master in.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, we'll let him settle into his job,
Yeah.
and then we'll let him tell us what he's seeing, right? Okay, what else? So we got this master plan. Congratulations on that. What other?
Okay, we do a lot of monitoring of things. We monitor the mooring fields, but we also monitor the 5-mile-an-hour buoys, which unfortunately, without a harbor master, we don't have much control over it, but hopefully that's going to change.
Yeah, there's kind of those no wake zone
Yeah.
kind of things. Yeah.
And
Again, that's a safety, you don't
Yeah.
want waves, in swimming areas, mooring fields, all of that can create
Right.
problems.
Right.
also, we have put in fairway buoys over in Potter's Cove, which mark an area so that you can safely transgress from one part of the Potter's Cove to the inner Potter's Cove.
And that's amazing too, because I know that cove gets party central, and to have a fairway or
You're
a
right.
lane, right?
Yep,
And you don't have somebody anchored right in the middle of it.
right.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That makes all sorts of sense.
We do a lot of things with Save the Bay, doing cleanups and things like that. The Harbor Commission collaborates on the budget, and I file an annual report with the town of Portsmouth to make sure that the town knows exactly what it is we've accomplished over the year. I'm trying to think, we do monitor the aquaculture plots that go around. They're actually farm areas that
And
they fish from.
We're talking oysters and other kinds
Yeah,
of
oysters and mussels.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's some scallops, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything you've learned as you've watched all of that? Just to speak to that? I mean, that's kind of interesting, and no one ever thinks about that, but clearly you guys do.
Well, the real problem with that is the type of farms that are there. Some of them have, oysters grow faster on top of the water than on the bottom.
Okay.
And they have these black bags that the cages float from, and those black bags only are about that far above the water. At night and so forth, they become a real hazard, and we've been trying very hard. We luckily have, I believe, only one farm in Portsmouth that is.
Is that in Bluebell?
No, it's just off of the Glen, I think.
Oh, okay, okay.
And we were able to get that lit at night with buoys on all four corners. But yeah, that's the sort of thing we monitor
Okay,
with,
that makes
with
sense.
that.
All right, super.
I was just thinking if there's much more to say. We've developed a mooring appeals board because we didn't have one, and it's if someone has a mooring and they have a problem with somebody else and their mooring or any kind of a mooring, you can come to the Portsmouth Mooring Appeals Board and we'll help you sort it out.
Oh, that's good to know that there is sort
There's
of
an appeals process, a whole process.
That's the avenue. Well, I certainly have noticed. It seems like some people just put in their own mooring without asking.
Yeah, well,
Right? Right? And you're like, wow, your mooring's really close to my mooring, and how are we going to do this, especially with your boat, swinging this way or that, and right?
Yeah,
That's the kind of thing you're talking about?
That would
I mean,
certainly be the sort of thing that would come, before the appeals committee.
So what are the rules in Portsmouth about moorings? 'Cause I heard when we moved here, and this could be totally urban legend or something, that everybody in Portsmouth gets 2 moorings?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
However,
You're like, that's crazy.
If you live on the water, that is correct.
You can have your boat and a
Oh.
guest mooring.
Okay, so all right.
Assuming
so that's what we're
assuming
talking
they
about.
can be safely put there. Again, if you've got rocks and so forth right in front of your house,
Yeah.
you may have to not have moorings in front of your house.
Okay.
And if you can't put it in front of your house, it goes to the nearest mooring field.
All right, so our waterfront homes are the ones that get that.
Right,
Yes.
those are called riparian owners.
Okay.
All right?
You get the right to have access to the water from the home.
All right, and you get that as long as you are
Own the property.
on the property.
You may not sell your mooring with your house.
The
okay.
next
Tell me
owner
about
has to-
that. Okay.
Next
yeah.
owner has to go through exactly the same process of getting a mooring and a guest mooring if they want it.
So when somebody says, "Oh, I'm selling my $1 million house here on the water," and it comes with a mooring, that's not true.
That is,
No,
well, it can come with mooring gear. You can sell the gear with the house, but you have to go to the harbor master and have the harbor master cite that gear for your boat. Again, this is because boats are different. Some boats need bigger tackle. Some boats may have to be out further or in, et cetera.
Yeah.
It's we want to make sure that the mooring is sited properly and safely.
Yeah. And clearly, you said there's a waiting list, right? So,
Right.
so if I
Only in some places.
Yeah.
Not in all
okay.
places.
Oh, right, because I'm sure, of course, there are places that are protected and the destination fields, like you talked about, Tom. So.
There are a lot of people that don't understand that, you can put your mooring somewhere as long as the harbor master says you can, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be safe. Mount Hope Bay is not exactly a really safe place to have a mooring during a nor'easter.
Right.
Okay? The same
Understood.
problem in the Secundit River when they have southerlies,
Right.
because there's a lot of wind. Hence why they like the destination places to have moorings.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
that's
Oh, that's so interesting. And do you view the whole mooring thing for the town of Portsmouth as a business, like a potential moneymaker for our town, or is it not viewed that way? Like, what's the philosophy as you approach
The philosophy is that the moorings pay for the management of the harbor. It pays for the harbor master's boat, it pays for the fuel, it pays for his salary, all of the things to manage the harbor like we're supposed to do under the harbor
So
management
it's kind of like
plan.
a break-even thing. You're not trying to, like,
That's exactly correct, and this is decades old. But when we instituted the $50 mooring fee for the residents, the whole reason was to have enough money to make sure that we could manage the harbor properly. We wanted to get an assistant for the harbor master, so the harbor master was on the water rather than doing paperwork and so forth.
right.
So that was the reason we raised the fees to the $50, and which it is still today. So that's almost a decade of.
To me, that seems very reasonable.
Well,
I actually, as a
it's
business person, I'm like,
it's a bargain.
maybe we should
Well,
be like thinking about it a little differently. I don't know. Like, again, you're schooled in it.
There are certainly people that would like to have it be a moneymaker for the town, but that was not the philosophy behind it.
You
By
look
the way,
like you want to say something.
I have to
I
say
can
something.
see it. Yeah,
I
please.
misspoke about something, and I
Oh,
want to
okay.
clarify
Okay.
it. It was not the mayor of Newport who got thrown off the mooring. I don't want to get in trouble with the mayor.
Okay.
It was not him. It was something entirely different.
Well, we'll just say I got thrown off my
All
mooring.
right, that's okay. That's fine. One last thing that I think is really important.
Yeah, and we
that
have just a minute or so left. So
we have
what
a
else?
subcommittee that we have developed for the beach problems. And I think that that's very important, especially for you, because you live in Common Fence Point. You
I
understand
hear all about
the
it.
beach
I
problems.
hear all about it.
So
yes.
Tom is on the committee with Carol Mello and
Carmen.
Carmen Izatari, who owns the boatyard that's at the Old Stone Bridge, River's
Okay.
Edge Marina.
Yeah.
And is it Josh?
Dave Gleason is
Dave
our
is
liaison.
Right.
Okay. So when does your committee meet, and can anyone come, or what's that look like?
Well, it's a subcommittee of the Harbor Commission. Yes,
Yeah.
they certainly can come, and believe it or not, it's Sunset Cove that we usually meet at and have a cup of coffee and so forth. But this is a very serious problem brought on by the change in the shoreline access legislation,
Right.
and we're just trying to figure out how the town can best manage it.
Sounds great. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Like, seriously, I can tell the passion that you feel about this, and clearly it is a ton of work, and we need more people doing great things like you.
We're the only commission in the town that has a waiting list.
That's big congratulations for that. Amazing. Thank you both
Thank you.
for being
Thank
on the
you.
show.
Thank you very much.
This has been Portsmouth This Week. We'll see you next time.